Hi, welcome to Marlene at Home. And I'm Marlene from the North Carroll Public Library of Carroll County Public Library System. This summer, I'm out and about again. And in June, I was at the North Carroll High School finding out what's going on there. But here in this month of July, I'm at a luscious place, a place that many of you know about, and those of the rest of you, you need to know about. I'm at Simmons Homemade Ice Cream. Let's see, where's that sign? Right here behind me. And if you haven't been here, well, then you haven't been around much, because this store is celebrating its 100th anniversary this summer. This has been a family-run business for 3 generations, and I think there's a 4th or 5th, maybe more. I've just met some little ones inside. So it's been around for a long time, and hopefully it'll be around for much longer. I am with the 3rd generation. This is Jean and Carol Newdecker, and they are the ones running it and living here at the moment, and we'll hear more from them in a moment. I was here last year right across the street, and we'll get a shot of that in a moment, but I did a program on Cascade Lake, now called Cascade Park. And so just to give you an idea where we are on Snydersburg Road, right across from the entrance of Cascade Park. And there we are, getting that view. They are repaving the road today, so we are also doing this in between trucks going by, so hopefully it won't interrupt too much. Simmons Ice Cream is located right across the street from Cascade Park's entrance. Okay, Jean, so tell me about your family and how this got started.
Well, my grandmother and my grandfather, Estie Simmons and Joe Simmons, they lived across the road up where the farm is now, where Cascade Lake owns, or Copper Mine owns right now. On Saturdays, everybody around town would come up to their house and they'd have a cookout, or whatever they called it back then. And my grandmother always made ice cream. And so one time somebody, I don't know which one, said, Estie, why don't you make ice cream and sell it? And she said, oh my goodness, nobody want to buy my ice cream. And they said, believe me, Estie, they'll buy it. And so she started making it. And, people came up there, and, people from right around here came up and said, can we have a little sample of that ice cream you're making? And she said, sure. And so as time went on, well, here I am.
Okay. So about how many years did your grandparents run the store?
50.
In the 50s.
In the 1950s?
Yeah.
And then I take it your parents took over
My parents,
from
my
there?
mother and my father took it over. And they ran it until, when did Mom die? 68?
70s.
Huh?
70s.
In the 70s. And they weren't able to run it anymore, so Carol and I took it over. And here we are.
All right, so did each generation live here in this house? Well, you mentioned your grandparents.
My grandparents lived up there,
Up here.
and then they bought that house.
Okay.
Okay, they bought the house, and of course, by that time, they was going into business. So they built this onto the house.
Here's a photo of the Simmons homestead and the homemade ice cream store. Located at 2841 Snydersburg Road, Hampstead, Maryland, 21074 for your GPS. So now that the ice cream store has landed on your laps, what's it like to run it? How do you work it? Who makes the ice cream? And what are the hours?
Well, right now the hours is from 2 to 6. And on Saturday and Sunday, they're from 12 to 6. And the reason why we're not open any longer than that is because Carol needs a hip replacement, and I need a knee replacement. So after we get that all done, we'll go back to our original hours, 8 to 8.
Closed on Friday.
And closed on Friday. We make our ice cream on Fridays.
Okay, so who's the ice cream maker?
Carol makes all the ice cream. I'm the boss.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I asked.
And our granddaughter, Kristen Mathis, she also helps make the ice cream.
Now, is it still the original recipe?
Yes, and the original recipe.
And I hear it's a secret.
I'm not saying anybody.
I read somewhere that your son said he would like to take over sometime if you're unable to, but he doesn't know if you'll give him the recipe. so, ladies and gentlemen, time will tell how long Snuckers will continue. But I think there's a safe bet that it'll be a secret in the family eventually. All right. There's other things that people just don't run in the door and get ice cream and leave. It's like a gathering spot.
Yeah, everybody, and all the, well, it used to be all the farmers around here used to come and sit on Saturday night. And of course, when that was when the TVs first came out, you know. And they'd all come and watch TV because we was the only place that had a TV here in Snoddersburg. Everybody else never had one. And they'd come and watch, what was it, Hopalong Cassidy and
Boxing.
and boxing and things like that. And of course, they'd sit in there and
And
just eat, drink, and eat ice cream and
Bobby chips.
and just talk about, you know, their farming and what they're growing and, you know, all that, what farmers talk about.
Well, great. That's good. Now, not only did my family come here for ice cream, but we also, as a church, my husband was a pastor in the area for 25 years, so we would come, we would call and book a date, and we would come and we would use the baseball field back behind the store, and I'll get some photos of that later. But we would have a church picnic and then a church ball game on a summer night, and then, you know, to make the losers feel better, we would all have some ice cream. So very fond memories, even my children can remember coming here for ice cream. And so, do you still do things using the baseball field?
Yes, up to 2 years ago, our Scott Castle up here had the North Carroll softball team, and they played Monday through Thursday. And of course, when that COVID-19 came in, you know, then it all stopped.
Everything stopped.
And so it's been stopped now for 2 years, but he's trying to get, you know, members to come back, you know. And I think at that time they had 10 teams,
Oh,
didn't
wow.
At 19.
they? 9 teams.
19.
And, but right now, it's a baseball team uses it just for practice, and it's also a girls softball team that uses it for practice. So it's being used Tuesday through Friday.
Okay, well, great. That's
So,
a fun community place. You know, the summer reading theme this year is all together now, and really, this was an all-together gathering place for the community, for ice cream and for catching up with your friends and your neighbors and your family, and so it fits well together. Ice cream shops are a very big, what can I say, in thing right now. I saw, like, there's a Maryland ice cream trail and a map, and it'll show you where to go. And so originally I thought I would do a number of ice cream stores in the area, but when I heard it was the 100th anniversary of Simmons, I was like, this is going to be a standalone program. It's right in our backyard near the North Carroll Branch Library, and lots of people have been here and know about it, and I'd like a lot more, and new people to learn about it too and not miss it. What flavors are you guys making?
Right now we're making vanilla chocolate, fresh strawberry, blueberry, and we're hoping to get some raspberries, black raspberries.
Oh, sounds good. So way out of the garden. It depends on how the garden is going and getting the fruit for the different flavors.
We usually get our raspberries from the Amish.
Okay, so tell me, what are the busiest times here?
Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoons.
Okay. And what's the longest line you've seen?
Out to the steps.
And how many people?
I've counted 32 in mine already, but not lately.
Okay.
Not since the COVID.
No, it's not the COVID.
Okay. So here's a great place when you just want to come to a small, quieter spot than, say, like a big chain ice cream business. So put this on your calendar for the summer. But let's move inside. Coming inside is like turning the clock back 100 years, 80 years. So make sure you come inside. Now, Jean, tell me about this chair.
This chair here is as old as the store, I would assume, because my grandmother used to come down from the house, sit in this chair, and entertain the women here in Snydersburg.
Great.
Aunt Grace and Aunt Leslie and I don't know who all used to come here. The women had a certain time to come, and the men, usually came in the evening.
Okay. Well, now you told me too that your grandmother would sit here and your grandfather would be over here.
Here be my grandfather.
And waiting for
That's my
customers.
grandfather.
Okay, and then he would dip the ice cream.
Yeah.
Originally, Jean, the store was what? What did it sell in, the 20s and the 30s?
At first, when my grandmother and grandfather built this, they built from where that section to this pole. And they just sold ice cream. And then as time went on, they got into the grocery business. And then they built from this pole on back. And then people came in and they started to sell dry goods like shirts, pants, shoes, anything that normally that you would want. Back then, everybody more or less sewed by hand, and I know they sold needles and all that stuff.
So this was like a general store. It was, and in this section, it was the grocery store. So they were the only grocery store in the area. Not until some businesses in Hampstead came into being, then they dropped out of the grocery store business. But then they also outside, what did you have? You were just
We sold gasoline and kerosene.
Okay, so the store kind of grew by the needs of the community. When there was no grocery store, they added a grocery store. Started as ice cream, then went to a grocery store, then went to like a general store. You could find probably soup to nuts here as to what the community needed. And so that's a really neat thing. And when you come in and really just walk around and show you some little things, but there's toys from probably the 20s, all kinds of things, 30s, 40s. Over here on this shelf, she showed me some pictures of some baseball teams that played here regularly. There's team pictures of all the players from the 40s. So newspaper articles, signed cereal boxes, tins. This one says dyes, so you can come and get dyes to dye your fabric or your clothes. They're still selling shirts. You can come and get a Simmons ice cream shirt. Now yours is the 100th anniversary one, but I'll have to get one to show you. The Simmons ice cream shirt that says celebrate the 100th anniversary. Oh, can you get this yellow shirt? Yellow. Red. And they have them in all colors, green, orange, blue, I'm sure I can't, purple. So you can come and get a picture, a shirt.
Right there, picture of my mother.
Oh, okay.
And that was my mother and father. And that was my father.
Oh, great. And what was your mom's name again?
Marjorie Bagel. Well, it was Simmons.
Okay. All right. And are these the ice cream prices for now?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, so we want to get a picture of the ice cream prices. One dip is $2.50 plus tax, so that's $2.65. Quarts are $7 plus tax, $7.42. Gallons are $14 plus tax, $14.84 for a total. And as we mentioned earlier, blueberry, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry are the current flavors, but black raspberry hopefully will be coming soon. She also said that lots of churches, or a number of churches in the area, buy by the gallon ice cream for their church picnics. So if you have a church picnic coming up, you might want to order for your whole church, and that would be very enjoyable. I don't know if we mentioned that they also sell soda. So there's sodas here. And it looks like they used to sell lunch meat or meat, because I see something that weighs, or maybe you weighed ice cream there too.
No, we sold lunch meat.
Okay. So you could get a little bit of everything to eat here.
My grandfather used to deliver groceries to people in the area.
Okay. In this section that used to sell clothing and boots and all kinds of whatever the families needed, here the store originally had kerosene lamps for lighting, and you can see some of that. I love the old ice cream set. Here you see the table and chairs, and this is where you can come and buy your Simmons 100th anniversary shirt. But then you find things like a trophy bear on the wall, over here, squirrel, deer, fish, turkey, another bear. So all kinds of things. I bet local people came and shared their local hunting and fishing stories. Talked about the trophies that you'll see of deer and animals and fish here. And these were caught by Jean and Carol's son, Larry. And he is a hunting and fishing enthusiast. And he's the one that we're hoping will take over the business. I think he will. I think his mom and dad will give the family recipe. But anyway, for the ice cream, I also wanted to mention that their granddaughter and Larry's daughter, Kristen Matthews, has been helping on Fridays Carol to make the ice cream. Here's the 5th generation of the Simmons family, and this is Chloe and Charlie. And here is the candy display, and they're a little low on candy, but they'll be stocking up because the baseball teams go through quite a bit. And the chips too that we were standing in front of a little bit ago. I want to show you too that they also used to sell nails here, and you can see kegs of nails underneath there. And also there's where they used to do lunch meat and wrap it all up. So just from soup to nuts. Can you find?
Yeah, this is an oyster bucket that we've collected over the years, and we just keep it sitting on the shelf, and people want to buy it, but we don't sell nothing.
But what was your offer, highest offer?
We was offered $950 for it.
Oh, wow.
And I think the man was crazy myself.
Yes.
But that's the way it goes.
The store started, they did making the homemade ice cream by cranking it by hand. But every Friday when Carol makes the homemade ice cream now, Carol, how do you do it?
Well, we got an electric machine now.
Okay.
I make 10 gallon at a time. It takes about 18 to 20 minutes to make 10 gallon.
And how many gallons do you make a week?
Right now we make about 100 gallon a week.
Okay.
Years ago we used to make 3 times a week. One on Friday, then I'd make 280 gallons.
Okay.
But it's really dropped off. We got too many people around selling ice cream. You know how it goes.
Yes. Well, maybe the further we get from COVID, maybe business will pick up more. Here we are at the back of the ice cream store. And here's the house. It's been in the family for generations. I'm a little too close to get it all. And then spanning around the property. And then there's room for parking for baseball games and baseball practices. And as they said, a number of teams are practicing, I think she said 4 or 5 nights a week. And as I mentioned, as a church, we used to come out here. And this is the new Decker Field. And you can see the board there. It says North Carroll Softball League. And they're thanking Carol and Jean for letting them use it. They were saying when the store opened, there was only about 12 houses in Snydersburg. So a lot of things have changed in 100 years. Okay, what's a great thing to do after a hot summer day of school? We came back to the ice cream store. Josiah, what flavor are you getting?
Two.
Okay, so Puff and Cohen got strawberry.
Somebody say blueberry?
Yes, blueberry for me, please, a cone.
And one chocolate.
And one chocolate. And Josiah's getting chocolate. And here's Carol dipping away. We just waited for another family. It looked like they were coming after school. But this is a great way to wrap up our day here at Simmons Ice Cream. I'll wait till everybody gets their cones, and then we'll talk about what's the favorite. And I don't think I mentioned earlier, you could come in here, you could get a cold drink. You could also buy ice cream by the gallon. There's strawberry and blueberry. And I might add, in the stores, there's chocolate. In the stores, it's hard to buy a gallon. They're all smaller than a gallon. Okay, thank you for joining me at Marlene at Home, out and about. And this month, we are celebrating with Simmons Homemade Ice Cream, their 100th anniversary. We've had a great day, great time here. And did you like your ice cream? Yeah, did you like your ice cream? Okay, we tried we didn't get vanilla. 4 of us, my cameraman and the 3 of us, we had 2 strawberry, 1 chocolate, and 1 blueberry, and we loved them all. Thanks a lot for joining me. Join us again the second week in August, 3:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday, and we will be checking out local coffee shops. Thanks again.